Welcome into Softball Talk, episode 7. And we are so blessed today to have another guest in studio, Lauren Sattery. Lauren, hello.
Hi.
Lauren is a 2025 from Assumption High School, also with the Fusion program for her travel club. She actually just played in St. Louis, drove back just to be here today. Lauren, thank you so much for joining us.
Anytime.
The reason why that we really wanted to have someone like Lauren on the show was to talk about being a junior and already committing to a D1 program. Lauren, as a junior, already committing, is it a huge? It's got to take a lot of stress off of you.
Yes, definitely, especially with like sending emails and all of that. It's a lot less stressful, yes.
Yeah, I bet. Mm-hmm. Coach?
So does, for the young kids out there, you're already committed. Do you think that's going to make going into your senior season for high school ball, where you don't have all that pressure and all that, you're still sending emails out, you're still trying to reach out to colleges. That takes a lot of that off there, right? You
Yes.
can just go out and enjoy it and have fun your senior year.
Most definitely, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just to give you a little background on Lauren, Lauren played for Assumption High School last year. Coach Bruner, Coach, we huge fans of Coach Bruner,
Yes.
Great guy. Lauren, here's just some of your stats. Batted .509, a .574 on base percentage, 54 hits, and I had no idea about this, and Coach and I were talking about it before you got here. 15 home runs. Have you always been a power hitter like that?
No, I have not.
Okay, so what was it the extra work from your sophomore or from your freshman season to your sophomore season?
Yes, and weightlifting. We really hit the weight room in the gym a lot.
So strength training played an important role in having that extra pop at the plate.
Yes.
That's awesome. So those are just some of her stats to see where she is. She's already committed D1 Western Kentucky University. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And so let's just start back from where it all started. Can you kind of tell us where you started playing softball and then kind of how it grew from there?
Yes. So I started playing with a rec team in Spencer County.
Okay.
And then after that season, I went to J-Town, and I played for the J-Town teams. So I actually didn't do T-ball or any of that. I started with the sling pitch.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And
Yeah.
went on
Sling
to
machine.
machine pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, Babe Ruth softball.
So I started there. I was actually really bad. I was terrible.
So, you parents, D1 commit right here. If your daughter's not hitting them to the fence at 8U, right? Don't stress about it.
I just had fun playing the game.
That's right.
It was
Yeah.
I always had a smile on my face. After that, I just kept moving up. I found myself kept going to more difficult levels. I wanted to keep pushing myself, so I started doing travel ball.
Okay.
And now I'm.
So when you started doing travel ball, who did you play for? Did you go J-Town Strike? Did you go?
I'm pretty sure. So I started. I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
I played with Freedom. I know
Okay.
I played with Freedom.
Yeah.
I played with Sluggers.
Okay. So you played for some big clubs out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then now you're at, tell us where you're at now, what club you're with now. You're with Fusion Hunt,
Yes.
I believe, National.
Mm-hmm.
And were you on that team that went out to California and won the PGF?
Yes, I was.
Congratulations, man. And Coach JB and I were talking about it. What an accomplishment, right? I mean, I know you all played in the Sparkler and did okay, right?
Yeah.
But then you went to California and just ripped it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got hot at the right time. Yeah.
I got a question for you in the PGF down there, for the young kids that want to do all this kind of traveling and things like that. Obviously, you all went there to win a national championship.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So when you all walked off the field, like, were there college coaches that approached you all? I mean, you're national champs now. Were there
So,
very many college coaches that actually came out and said, wow, you girls are talented?
so when we were in the championship game in the Platinum Division, we did not see a single college coach at
Really?
that game. Yes, there
Really?
was not
Wow.
one.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not downplaying what you did because what you all did, I mean, I was retweeting it. I love Shelby James, the pitcher, her
Yeah.
family, great people. I know she's on your team. I was following through her father's tweets and Facebook stuff, and it was so exciting. And then the ESPN, you guys were on ESPN, right? At some point, yeah. And it was just so awesome. But, Coach, I mean, like we've talked about, at this level, they're at the top of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, they are the best,
Yeah.
right? And you're kidding me? Not even like anybody's there to see them?
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Well, and you got to think about this too. There's hundreds of national,
yeah.
But
I mean, I think
PGF is
PGF,
the
yeah.
top.
yeah,
that's where
Alliance,
it's at.
PGF.
Right.
I mean, you've got some big dogs in there.
Yeah.
Scenic Cities type things, Alliance, Legacies. I mean, there's a handful of them.
Yeah.
But to go out there and win the darn thing,
Yep.
I'm just in my mind, I'm thinking Florida State standing right there with sheets saying, hey, awesome job.
Exactly.
Now, I know that you did better than Florida State. You're going to WKU. You're staying home. Your parents will get to watch you as much as they want. I mean, in such a competitive schedule, I was just glazing through it. I mean, you're going to see some insane competition at WKU, but you still have 2 years. So, yeah, awesome. Coach and I had talked about that. When you went the national route, do you think your recruiting took from the tournament aspect, did it help it there, or was it still you plugging away at the computer, sending emails and sending clips?
It was sending emails and sending clips. My coaches harped on, like, they'll put into it what I put into it.
Yeah.
So I constantly send emails, and I constantly would send emails.
Yeah.
And so I mean I think that's really what did it for me, was just communication.
So on top of that, Lauren, did you also was you putting yourself out there at camps also?
Yes, I was. I would talk to the coaches at camps too.
Good.
Yeah. So I mean, Coach, it sounds like to me, it's kind of what we've talked about. Yeah. The kids at the end of the day, they have to do their job.
That's right.
They have to get themselves out there.
Yep.
Lauren, I have to ask you this because Coach JB and I, there's a couple Facebook groups that I follow about recruiting. I mean, did you ever personally go up to college coaches at tournaments if you were there and introduce yourself or do any of that?
No, I never did that.
So you would just strictly send an email, get a reply, go to the camp, and then it would kind of gradually build that relationship from there.
Yes.
And if I'm wrong, please, I'm just kind of understanding kind of where you were. Yeah. Okay. Coach, I think we were hit the nail on the head, right?
Yeah. And on top of that was, so how many other schools were you actually looking into? Did you break yourself down? These are my 5 top schools.
Yes, I did.
These are the ones I'm going to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you did have you broke it down. Mm-hmm. You focused on those.
Yes.
And then WKU.
Yes.
Obviously was the one that.
And so can I ask you why WKU? I mean, it's not did you feel like it was the perfect fit for you? Did you gel well with the coaching staff there? Beautiful campus. I mean, I love Bowling Green's the fastest growing city in the state of Kentucky. Yeah. There is so many positives about down there. I mean, I love Bowling Green. You've got Nashville and Louisville. You're right in the middle. It's endless. They play in a great conference. What was it?
Yeah, now, I mean, if you asked me 6 months earlier, I would not say that I was going to WKU.
Okay.
I had no idea where I was going. Whenever I would go to camps, just being on the field, I was most comfortable being on their field. You kind of just get that feeling, whenever you step on campus. Their coaches are very personable, so they would always talk to me. I remember Tudor and Bixel, they would always what's up, Lo, and give me high fives and stuff before camps. Whenever I went on my visit, it was actually an unofficial visit. They give official visits senior year.
Yes.
So whenever I went on my visit, we actually tailgated with the team, and like they would talk to us too. So it was very like homey environment. So I really liked it.
You already had that family
Yes.
feeling, that family atmosphere, probably
Yes.
kind of what you have an assumption that is probably something I mean, any player would love it, Coach, right? We harp on it at Mercy is the family atmosphere. You can count on me. And then bringing in those underclassmen
Yep.
and the upperclassmen really kind of, showing them the ropes, right?
100%. When you did, do you think it's important, and again, this is for the younger kids out there that want to get to this step, was it really important for you to not only meet the coaches, but to also meet some of the players that were there and talk to them a little bit about their experiences there?
Yes, I think that's very important. I feel like they kind of give you a good idea of what college there is going to be like. You can kind of see how they act towards each other, like how that is all coached. Whenever I went on my visit, I actually went with, I think it was like 5 other girls.
Uh-huh.
So
Oh, wow.
I actually got to meet some future teammates too.
Oh, well, that worked out great.
That's awesome. So we hear so much about the transfer portal, and I want to get back to your unofficial that you took and all that. Committing as a junior, was that a tough decision for you? Or when you left there after your visit, talked to mom and dad, was it an easy decision for you to make? And did you just want to have it done and you could focus on your game and getting better?
Yes, I actually wanted to commit early, so that was my
So that was a
plan.
goal. That was a goal the
Yes.
entire time. And I think it's, Coach, we're hearing more of it. I know it's tough with the portal, right? But then the team, Western, sees a player of Lauren's caliber and says, we got to get her, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. You got a kid that, again, hits 15 home runs a year. And on top of that, we talked about Lauren in one of our podcasts before. This kid's a team player.
Yes.
We asked her, do you like to pitch? And she said,
Coach.
well, I'll do it. So she's
Yes.
going to do whatever the coaches or the team needs. What else? What are you looking for?
And let me say this: Western got not only a shortstop, an outfielder. Heck, now they got another pitcher in the bullpen, right? I mean, worst case, everything goes to heck. They've got a pitcher too that bats 500. I mean, girl,
and can hit it and can hit it out of the yard.
Yeah, I mean, it's Coach and I are so happy for you. I think it's to see someone get to commit and enjoy their last 2 years of school. Now, and I don't know if you can share this or not, but expectations from WKU for you going forward. So are they like, hey, we need to continue to see you improve. We need you, I'm sure you got to keep your grades up and do all that, which you will at Assumption. They'll make sure of that. But is there some expectations from them, or are they asking you to do certain things?
Just play hard.
Wow. So, Coach, I think then she knows she's got a winner, right? Someone that's not trying to control her, still let her enjoy her high school season, and still, do her thing out there.
Yeah, but I think she's that athlete that, because she's committed early, I'm not going to stop going to the gym. I'm not going to stop doing these little things because I've already committed. I'm going to continue to do all that so that when I step on that campus, I'm ready to compete with the other kids.
And
right?
I'm ready to see the field as a freshman day one.
Yeah.
And I think it, jumps back to, talking to Hallie, now Lauren, they're competitive. I mean, you're a competitor.
Yeah.
And it's in their DNA that Western doesn't have to worry that she's going to take the season. She's not.
Right.
You're going to play it, And I'm sure that's what they saw in her.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Coach, anything else on Western? Did you have any other questions for her at this point?
No.
I do want to ask you about, so when you are practicing, I know, and we'll get into the Assumption pitching thing. Outside of practice itself, what do you do on your own to get better? So, if you can take us through there, and we can kind of help you as we go.
So, even though I have such a busy schedule all the time, I always look for those little opportunities to go to the field or go to the cages just to work on the little things that I'm told, either in practice or my hitting lessons. My coaches harp on so much, especially at the national level,
Yeah.
that I try and get in every little thing. And even if that's just throwing a tennis ball up against the wall and working on glove work, or just mentally like going through the motions through my swing. My coaches, Jen and Nan, actually harp on the mental game. So that is something that I did not know before. But every tournament, we will go through little things to help tweak our mental game because it's so important.
Wow. Coach, we've barely touched on the mental game of this. It's great to see that it's happening.
Yeah.
And not just us talking about it, it's happening on the field.
Yeah.
And I assume that you've seen good things, positive things happen with that mental tweaks, huh?
Yes.
Has it been a positive?
My confidence has been a lot better, and it helps with just like my attitude just towards myself. Like
Yeah.
I pick myself up all the time now than I did 2 years ago.
So would an example be like you make an error and then being able to, okay, this is what I did wrong. You logged it in the back of your brain, but then you can move on and then make the next play so one doesn't turn into two?
Yes. When they talk about that stuff, it really helped me. Like, since I'm such a competitor, I just wanted to be perfect. That's all I wanted to do.
Yes.
But it kind of showed me that, like, since this is a game of failure, like, you just kind of have to laugh it off. It can't snowball, because if it snowballs, like, you'll just hit ground.
Lauren,
yeah.
I mean, Coach, I think that's extremely important, and something even me as a fan, I forget with my daughter, who this weekend didn't have the most glorious weekend at the plate, that sometimes, it's going to happen, and we need to step back and think mentally, what can we do? Is there something that we need to adjust and be able to talk about it, right?
Oh, 100%. And that's huge, not only for the athlete, but, again, we've talked about this before, for the parents.
Yeah.
You can't have a tough day at the ballpark and then on the ride home just get beat down.
Correct.
I mean, look, this is a tough game.
Yeah.
Playing at a high level, a national level, it's a tough game. I'm going to make mistakes.
Yes.
But having somebody pound you the whole way because you made a few mistakes, look, those athletes know they made the mistakes.
Yes.
They know it, and they want to be perfect. Like she said, she wants to be perfect every time she walks on the field.
Yeah.
She didn't make those errors because she wanted to.
Yeah.
So, but, and I agree with that. You got to let that stuff go.
Yes.
Those guys get paid millions of dollars to make errors.
Yes.
And they strike out quite often.
Absolutely.
And they still get that big paycheck.
100%.
So their owners don't say, hey, you struck out 5 times this game. We're going to take half your check from you this month.
Thank you.
These guys still get paid. It's a tough mental game.
Yes.
And, to be a young athlete at that level and have to perform, especially when you're out there and there are a lot of college coaches there watching and you haven't committed yet, and you look up and you go, oh, my gosh, look at all them coaches over there.
Right.
Now the pressure really hits.
Absolutely.
So you got to know how to control that and go out there and play the game.
Yeah. And I think you hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what you have to be able to control it and play the game. And we'll see what happens. So let's touch base on the assumption, your team. You lost a pitcher on your team for next year. So now you're probably going to see a little more time in the circle, you think?
I'm actually not sure.
But if you do, you're 100% prepared?
Absolutely.
And so so you're a competitor and you want to win, and I get that. Mm-hmm. Is it hard to be able to turn it on and turn it off to be able to pitch? Is it tough for you? Does it come naturally? Is it something you're working on?
I actually don't work on pitching at all.
Okay.
Now, we will throw bullpens at open fields.
Okay.
So I do work on it then, but I'm just ready to go in. Like, it's just fun for me.
Absolutely. Coach, I mean, when you have a player that's versatile like that, it's huge for a team.
Yes.
Because I'm assuming as a coach, it just gives you one more little reliever in the back that you don't have to worry about everything.
Oh, without a doubt. You get in trouble, you can go right out there and pull that shortstop out and say, "Come on, bail us out right here."
Yeah.
You can always got that in your back pocket.
Yeah.
Or you could start the game off with it. Look, we battled Lauren last year.
Absolutely.
She's a fantastic pitcher.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so I know what she's going to bring out there.
Yes.
And we worked that week leading up to that game,
Yes.
preparing to face
Yes.
Lauren.
Yes.
I didn't think they were going to pitch anybody other than her against me.
Correct.
So we prepared that week.
Yes.
And but that's awesome to have that in your back pocket.
Yeah.
Somebody that she doesn't even take pitching lessons,
Yeah.
but she goes out there and throws it the way she does.
Yeah.
Come
Exactly.
on, it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, Lauren, last year, 60 innings in the circle. My gosh, had a 4.32 ERA, and you didn't even, you just took bullpen and pitched. I think it just goes to show your competitive nature.
Now, last season, before I actually did take lessons from
Okay.
Taylor Roby.
Okay.
Now, since she is now assisting with Clemson,
Yeah,
I don't think I'm taking lessons with her anymore. So.
Okay.
got it. Wow, that's really awesome.
But you still work the stuff that she gave you.
Yes.
So when you're throwing bullpens, you work those spins. And so
Yes.
you always have to maintain that because, look, spinning the ball is hard, man.
Absolutely, it is.
Throwing those pitches is difficult. I sit in my facility every night and watch Asia's working with them kids over there. And Reagan Gibson still comes in and throws over there. And she's always working to fix something.
Yes.
Even your top pitchers are still working to perfect a pitch or something. So it's not that it's easy. It's just sometimes maybe it just comes more natural to some people.
Yeah. Plus, I'm looking at last year for Assumption. You guys took Ballard to the wire.
Yeah.
In the 7th region. It was a 2-1 ball game. Your eventual state champion. And, honestly, after everything your team went through last year, you guys had a fantastic season. And I think it just goes to show that, honestly, you've got some fantastic players coming back this year and some girls that have already taken officials as juniors. It's great to see. I know you have to be excited for your junior season.
I sure am.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach, anything else for Lauren?
I got it. So for the young athletes out there, Lauren, how old were you? What stage in your career did you say, I want to play college ball. It's time for me to start focusing harder and working harder? Was it when you got into high school, freshman year? Was it when you got on the national team? Did all of a sudden that push say, I want to go to the next level?
Probably 10 or 12 years.
Really? 10 or 12 you, okay.
So you knew at a young age that it's something that you wanted to do, and then you committed yourself to it. I assume at some point you were a pitcher full-time or more of a full-time, and then at what point did that change? Did you kind of say, I'm done with it, I would rather play the field?
So when I went to Spencer, I played up for high school when I was in 8th grade.
Okay.
The pitcher that was coming back actually did not come back.
Oh.
So I was the next one up. Just pitching that full season, I think I threw over 2,000 pitches.
Oh.
Something like that. I started having problems, so I just kind of didn't really like doing it anymore. And
Yeah.
I just found another position.
Yeah, and we've heard of that, Coach, is them bringing teams, same situation, hurting an eighth grader or, wearing them out.
Yeah.
It's just too much. Yeah.
Well, at that point, if all you have is an 8th grader on a high school level, you got to take a look at your schedule and say, you know what, I'm not gonna make this young kid go out and pitch 3 days in a row.
Correct.
If that's all I have.
Yeah.
Throwing that many pitches to 17 and 18-year-old kids who are,
Right.
going to stand out there and pound the softball.
Yeah.
And especially, I don't know how the defense is behind you, but if the defense isn't good, guess what? You're throwing more pitches. And so you, as a coach, you got to take a look at that.
Yeah.
If that's all I had, I would sit down and go, okay, I'm chopping this game out. I'm chopping this game out, this game, because I don't want to ruin this kid's future.
Yes.
Yes. So a lot of coaches need to take a look at that.
Lauren, can I ask you, so I assume, because this happened fairly quickly, your commitment, so September 1st hit.
Mm-hmm.
I assume that you spoke to them on that day?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did.
Okay, and I assume it kind of went very quickly after that?
So they talked to me September 1st. I went on my visit September 9th.
Okay.
And then I did not commit until probably September 17th or 18th.
Wow. So that still seems really, really quick to me. Did you take any other visits
No,
in
I did
between?
not.
So you knew this is the place for me.
Mm-hmm.
That is awesome. Coach, just like Hallie said, you're going somewhere that you feel the love.
Yeah.
And you know it. Don't make it something crazy and hard, and make it what you know in your heart is going to be the place for you.
And that's important for the athletes.
Yeah.
That's why you see so many kids jumping in the transfer portal.
Yes.
Because they get an offer from a school and they're so worried that they're not going to get another offer somewhere. So they go ahead and jump on that offer.
Yeah.
And then they get to that school and realize this isn't the fit for me.
Right. They didn't take their visit.
Right.
They didn't go meet the coaches.
Yeah.
They didn't talk to the other players like we talked about. That
they don't feel the special things
Yeah.
that Lauren and Hallie felt.
Yeah.
Family atmosphere.
Yeah.
As soon as I stepped on the field, I knew this is where I felt comfortable there.
Yes.
I knew this is where I wanted to be.
Yes.
A lot of kids just, I'm committing.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Do you have any advice for sophomores, freshmen in high school that are just now kind of starting the process or just now starting to send emails? Is there any advice that you would have for them?
Yes, it is hard and it is stressful, but you cannot give up. There were many times where I felt like I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm not going to make it.
Right.
But just sending emails, talking to the coaches, be personable, really choose where you want to go, because whenever I was thinking, like, I wanted to go Power 5, I was looking at those Power 5 schools.
Yes.
But just going there, like, I didn't get that feeling. Like, it was kind of like, oh, like, this is cool, but I felt better at WKU. So just kind of get that feeling, send those emails, and y'all got this, for real.
Yeah. I mean, Coach, it echoes everything that we've kind of talked about the last few weeks of, you need to think about, who's in the dugout, the players that are there, and will you feel comfortable as a player? Don't worry about who the mascot is or, how many national championships they've won. Just do your part, but make sure you're going somewhere that you love. And I probably already said that, but yeah, I just think that's so important. And same thing that she's echoing here.
Yeah.
Lauren, if you could, would you mind to talk a little bit about the upcoming season? Is there any, I know a T on your team is getting a lot of looks. I'm sure there's others. Is there anything special that you're looking forward to this next year?
I'm just excited to get together with these girls. We really came together last year.
Yeah.
So just bonding with everyone.
Yeah, I know it was like a tough situation. You kind of had a coaching change. Coach Bruner kind of stepped in, I think, and man, like we touched on at the very beginning, great guy. I mean, so likable. New coach this year. I'm sure that's exciting as well. Yeah. Coach, anything else today?
No. I think we've covered everything. I really enjoyed having Lauren on here, and I can't wait to see her this year. See what kind of numbers she puts up this year. I'm not looking forward to facing her again, because that was a nice little battle last year. But hey, again, it's always awesome to get out there and play against these kids. And this isn't. We've said this a million times. This isn't solely a Mercy podcast.
Not at all.
We are excited for these athletes in our area
Yes.
who are committing and going to these schools and going to represent us where they
Coach,
come from.
Yes, and it's the same thing you said too. These girls are staying home.
That's right.
They're staying close to home, and we'll be able to go watch them, or
Yep.
we'll see them up at Bellarmine, or we'll see them here or there. It's just such a great thing to see these female athletes at the top of their game make these, commitments. And I'm so happy that we get to give them their credit
Yep.
because they work so hard. And like you said, your schedule is hectic. Before we let you go, can you give us a week in the life of Lauren?
Yeah. So normally I will have lessons on Monday.
Hitting lessons?
Yes,
Okay.
hitting lessons.
Okay.
Tuesdays are kind of like my off days. Just I feel like I don't really have anything on Tuesdays.
You've got to catch up with homework at some point, I assume. All right?
Yeah. Wednesdays we have our all national team practices. So our 14, 16, and 18U teams all come together and we practice at Assumption.
Okay.
Wednesdays and Thursdays too, I will also have school open fields. So I'll go to open fields on Wednesday and then go to practice.
So you'll have a double shift on Wednesday. You'll do
Yes.
both.
Mhm.
So that's a full night.
Yeah.
Right there.
It's
okay.
probably about like 3:30 to like 8:30.
Full night.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then you got to go home and do homework after that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sometimes
So
you
see,
got-
young kids, it's not easy. You want to get to that level, this is what you have to do.
Yeah,
It's
and
not easy.
It's the grind. And so, and I'm sure you're throwing strength training in there. So Thursdays, then do you have open fields also?
Thursdays we also have open fields, and then we are starting weightlifting Tuesdays and Thursdays.
I mean, so
your free days getting ready to get taken up.
Yeah, basically.
but see though, and I mean this is the perfect example, Coach. I mean, this is a D1 athlete that just committed.
Yep.
She's still going to strength training.
Yeah.
Because she's a competitor and
That's right.
she knows what she has to do to be at the top of her game. And just because you're at the top now doesn't mean that every other athlete in the city isn't fighting to take your spot.
That's right.
Yeah. I know that this has been such a fun ride for me and Coach so far. We've got to talk. We have had the opportunity to talk to some fantastic people. This weekend, I've got to meet Coach Art at Spalding, and I just wanted to tell him that keep being just such a great, fantastic person. What I have learned the last month or two that we've done this, Coach, is that how there are so many awesome people
Yep.
in this community and how small it is.
Yes.
For every crazy person or every stupid story we hear from travel tournaments, there is so many awesome stories
Yep.
that are out there.
Yep.
And I think it just goes to show that a girl from Spencer County can commit D1 to Western Kentucky, that all of our young listeners out there can do it as well.
Yeah, and like she said, when she started out, she said I played sling pitch and I wasn't very good.
Babe Ruth ball, Coach. I mean, that was the. I mean, that's where my daughter started.
But at the end of the day, you put in the work.
Yes.
You put in the work. You put in the work. You put in the work, and good things happen.
So this will wrap it up for this episode. Lauren is going to have some. Oh, I'm so sorry, babe. Softball Talk stickers, any Fusion girls or Assumption girls or anyone that sees her at tournaments, she is going to have a stack of them. Please rep our, put it on your laptop, your iPad. Coach and I have some other merch coming up that we're excited about to get out there. Please like and subscribe. I am at Dan the Fan on Twitter. I'm at Dan the Fan KY on Twitter. He is at KY Coach _JB. Lauren, what's your Twitter? Do you mind?
L Satterly 2025.
So make sure you guys give her a like. We are so lucky to have so many awesome people in this community. Over the next few weeks, when the fall seasons are kind of winding down, we're going to have a college coach on. We are going to have a umpire on.
Yes, sir.
We are also going to talk to some people at RXD about strength training. We will be on site for that. There is so many things because just when the season ends, Coach, this is when the real season starts.
That's right.
This is when we get ready for that February 15th tryout date for high school softball.
That's right.
We will see you guys next week. Lauren, thank you. This is your first podcast.
Yes, it is.
Thank you for making it. And we'll see you all next week. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.